And it was honestly a great training ground for getting ready for anything for Jackson. So that's where it all started. I've always wanted to do a horror movie. And then I met Keith, I guess about 7, 8 years ago now. And
Yeah, same
that was
monkey movie.
where we, yeah, same monkey movie. And that's where we've always been driving to get. So we finally got to make the movie that really is our voices as opposed to just telling someone else's fun, feel good story.
Well, yeah, I'm looking through it. And I was like, wow, where did this come from? Because this, we watch a lot of horror movies, and horror gives us these great movies and recommendations, and we like all our classics and stuff. But this one, man, had some really. I mean, you watch a movie and you have that one memorable scene, but there's like several scenes in here that just like take you back. And uh, I wanted to talk a little bit about where you got some of these concepts. I know, like, Chris mentioned there was a floss scene. There was, in my opinion, one of the gorier scenes was the guy shoveling the snow, or doing the snow, and then the contortionist ghost. Where did this imagery come from? How did you visualize and get these into the movie?
Well, the concept came from just in general came from Keith and I pitching another horror movie, and they said, "Oh, we want something a little more supernatural." So we said, "Of course we have that." So we got in the car and said, "We got to come up with some supernatural ideas." So we threw some stuff around. We came up with the idea of like a reverse exorcism, and where else could that go?
Hmm.
And we hashed out a bunch of ideas, and we each came up with some scenes, and then I go and send Keith into his dungeon, and I don't know what he does. He drinks some energy drinks or something, and then spits all this crazy stuff out. I read it, I'm disgusted, and then decide it's a great idea. So Keith, what's wrong with you?
Short answer is trauma, but if that's going to take too long. Yeah, it's exactly that. It's the idea for the ghosts themselves. They came from different spots. I really wanted to tap into like nightmares and the meaning behind them. Just things that I've had in my. I'm always curious when I have these nightmares. I'm like, what does my teeth falling out mean in a dream? So I did a bunch of research, and it means like you're losing control, or money problems, things like that. So for that, Justin and I went back and forth a few times, and it actually worked out really well. That was sort of Henry's moment. We're doing spoilers. Yes, I've heard some spoilers. So just before I start doing this, huge spoiler warnings coming. Um, that's Henry's moment where he's no longer in control because he's so focused and so calculated, right? Audrey's making these emotional decisions, but Henry has he knows everything has to be logical. So for the flossing ghosts, we really wanted to show Henry's life kind of falling apart in that moment, and also just somebody flossing to death is just badass, and something I've wanted to see in a horror movie. And Marianne was incredible, and she was perfect, and we get the little switcheroo there and everything, so that was exciting. And then if we're gonna go through all the ghosts, the Rory thing, I think we'd gone back and forth a few times. Funny enough, we'd written a what were we going to do, a concept piece, Justin? I think that was the idea behind that scene, right? That was our
Yeah,
button.
we wanted to do. I don't know if we were planning on making it an actual short film or
I
just
think it was
make it a
just proof of
scene that we could
concept, or
take to buyers and say like this is the kind of thing we could do. And Keith has a background of working in digital VFX. He worked on tons of major things in big VFX houses all over Toronto. And we knew we could do a little tiny bit of a visual of digital VFX and combine them with practical. And we thought this is an effect that we could come up with and show off sort of what we can do. So we plan on doing that, and luckily we found the financing for the whole movie before we ended up shooting it. So that was something that just ended up in the movie. So yeah, the concept for it, I don't know where that came from.
yeah, it was just, I was like, oh, that'd be cool. It was stuck a head in a
That's
snowblower.
it.
I was like, it's a super easy V effect, you know what I mean? And we can, so Justin and I made a bunch of, what do we, food coloring, Jello. We tried oatmeal.
Yeah, we ended up
Tried
with
everything.
frozen tomato juice and bananas in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they look like brain chunks. It worked out well.
Yuck, yuck. Keith, you kind of mentioned something. You started talking about some of the actors and
Hmm.
whatnot, and Constantina and Julian and Sheila, like they just did a phenomenal job. There's a lot of dialogue
Incredible.
between the three. So let's talk about how you decided to cast the three. Um, what made you go with these actors? I mean, obviously, they have some good resumes here.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. So Sheila came about because Justin had seen this great Canadian movie called Cardinal. And Sheila's incredible in that. And it's all about, I think she was kind of in the same sort of vein, right? Grief and trauma and things like that she dealt with.
Mhm.
And so Justin was like, man, I'd love to go out to Sheila for this. So then, that's sort of who I keep in the back of my mind when I'm writing. And then at that time, we also said, we talked about it and we knew that we couldn't, fly people in for this movie at our budget level. So we started thinking, okay, well, friends of friends of friends, and we know so many people that had already worked with Julian. So I was like, okay, well, I'll write with Julian in mind because he's so great. Like these are our two best choices, and then we'll see where we land. With our budget and the reality, it'll probably be Justin in a wig and myself. And so we got lucky. I finished writing the first draft. Justin, through his contacts, managed to get it to Sheila, who got back to us right away and was like, "Yeah, I want in." She didn't, and we tried to explain. We're like, "We don't have any money," and she's like, "It doesn't matter. I want to do this." She really liked it. She had a lot of great ideas. And then lucky for us with, Sheila was our rabbit's foot. She, I mean, when she was attached, it just made it that much easier. Julian is a sweetheart of a man. So I just put my heart in hand and I went to him. I said, please, sir, I've written this for you. It would be, incredible if you just at least read it. And so, once Julian, that's a no brainer. He's going to read it for you. And yeah, he came on board. Constantina, Justin, if you want to talk about that, I've been.
Yeah, she was an audition, and once you have a movie with Sheila and Julian officially attached, you're going to get a lot of auditions. So we had a ton of them, and it was difficult to choose. We had lots of amazing auditions, but Constantina there was something about her, and she actually did an audition for Becker first. She auditioned for a couple of the smaller roles, and we sent back a request to see her read for Becker, and she just knocked it out of the park. And we went back and forth. We talked with our producers, and everyone who watched it, they went in blind. It's like, we've narrowed it down to these four. Like, what do you guys think? And they're like, there's just something about that Constantina. So yeah, we cast her, and then similar story with Josh, who played Ian, and then Yannick, who came in to play Rory. He was our producers had a contact with him and knew he was interested in doing outside of the box type of projects. So we sent him the script and said, well, you're Yannick Besson. What do you want to be? You want to direct it? You want to write it? Whatever. And he said, I like this little character. He already had an idea in mind. It's sort of like the wardrobe and the performance. And I was, he didn't obviously read for us. So he showed up, and the first take of the first scene, I was like, oh my God, that's Rory. And what he brought to it was just incredible. Rory was so lovable. It makes it, it's sad what eventually happens to him.
Well, it was excellent casting and some big names there,
Mhm.
and just the continuity and the acting just really threw it over. And then you mix it with all the blood and the guts and the storyline. It was a well made formula. I'm gonna pass it on over to Muse, and I'm sure she's got some really great questions for you guys.
All right, thanks.
Awesome.
All right. Hey guys, I just wanted to echo what Ken said about the ghosts and some of the ideas behind those. I honestly will never view somebody saying trick or treat at my door the same ever again.
Oh yeah,
It was such a, you're
over
like,
and
okay,
over.
it's a ghost, but there was something about that, I think, because of just how you guys orchestrated that whole scene. It just weirded me out so bad. I was like, if somebody knocks on my door during this scene, I'm going to jump out of my skin. So I loved it. And all of the ghosts were absolutely just fantastic. I don't want to give too much away. We've already said a lot, but there's so many great moments there. So after besides that, I want to ask you guys, and both of you guys can chime in because you guys may have different answers. But what was the most challenging scene to film during production? So either one of you, whoever wants to chime in first.
Well, thank you for saying that about our trick or treat ghost, because that was certainly up there.
It freaked me out.
Our suffocating ghost.
Yeah.
You have Troy James in that role. There's really not a lot to do.
Yeah, that one was actually really easy.
Our flossing ghost, we had Carly Morris built that prosthetic, and then Marianne came in and did an incredible job. So that's another one that's kind of like, well, point the camera over there and it's going to be disgusting. But that trick or treat ghost, as you say, it's just a very simple, it's a child in a costume we've all seen a million times before. So taking that and making it scary was something we thought about a lot. We spent a lot of days in that house coming up with ideas, looking at different angles, and then working hard with everyone from the actors to the composer afterward, John McCarthy. And it all came together, and I'm really glad it worked, and I'm glad you pointed that out as one that worked well for you. So that was definitely difficult. And outside of that, just our shooting schedule. We had 15 days to make this movie, which is not a lot of time. So it was every day was packed full, but we had a very lean and effective crew, and actors who were willing to work within our confines. So Keith.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely echo the ghost one was the one I was the most scared of. Even when I was writing it, I was like, oh, this could be really hokey, like just a bunch of ghost costumes. And we were trying to make them not, we wanted them to look like little kid costumes. I mean, just right down to even I'm so sorry, I forget her name, but our editor's girlfriend who was like, oh, I can make costumes and I do a really good. So she just ran out and made these great ghost costumes and they worked so well. I was like, this is incredible. So I was scared of that. Obviously, with the amount of prosthetics on the last day, was the whole ending. Yeah, I'm going to try and avoid a lot of spoilers here, but a lot of prosthetics at plays. Yeah, that was tough.
The last 15 minutes of the movie were all shot in day 14 and 15. So those were hard days for sure.
But funny, just to kind of echo some of the stuff, the stuff that I really thought was going to be the hardest, because as a horror fan, the two things that I always bump up against in horror movies are, we all know, the acting sometimes isn't where you'd hope it would be, even in a great horror movie, and the score. And we got so lucky on both. We got these incredible actors that were way out of our league, and they just were so incredible. And then also, just I don't know if it was because Sheila was in it and John, her brother, is this super high-end composer who does he'd done big Hollywood movies. When he reached out to us and said he was kind of interested in doing this, we were like, we definitely can't afford you, man. Like, there's no possible way. And so he was like, no, I just really want to do it. I have all these ideas already. And he's a true talent. And it ended up being, he sent us the whole movie just kind of finished. And I remember Justin and I being, I remember messaging Justin so many times, like, I'm so scared. I'm just so scared that it's going to be bad. Like, it's just going to be hokey and it's not going to work. And I don't think we asked for any changes at all. I was like, this is incredible. So, I mean, when you really listen to the score, I wouldn't be able to sing John's praises enough either. It was phenomenal.
Well, I'll tell you what, it left an impression on me. This is one that I'm going to definitely be thinking about, possibly giving me nightmares. I don't really have nightmares, but if any movie is going to give me nightmares, it's going to be this one. There's just so many moments, and I'm just like, gosh, and the visuals and just the practical effects just was spectacular. So we spoke a little bit about difficulties, and I noticed there's a lot of snow on the ground when you guys were filming. Was that like on purpose, or was that just something you guys went with? Because we got a great scene out of it with the snowblower. I mean, was that just something you kind of like went with, or was that like, hey, let's do this?
No, that was definitely by design. It was written for winter, and the snowblower scene was in there. But knowing it was going to be an indie production, we also had some alternatives. We're like, well, what happens if it's spring, summer, or fall? What else could we do for that scene? And even, filming in Canada in February, March, there's no sure thing. I'd say about half the days we had, melting weather. You could see the grass, and we got very lucky that the days we had scheduled for the exterior snowy scenes, we had snow on the ground. A couple of the days there was a lot too much snow, but we worked around that too. And yeah, so it was by design, and then we got real lucky that it was actually there when we needed it.
I'll tell you what, I felt like it was wintertime already. I'm not ready for snow, and our furnace is broke. We don't have any heat in the house right now. I'm about to see my breath watching this movie. I got even colder watching it, and I thought it was actually a good metaphor, because we always talk about when there's a demonic presence nearby or ghost, that there's often a coldness in the room, and things get really, really cold. So I kind of thought that was kind of a cool metaphor as well, for like all of the snow and cold and everything like that, just kind of like affecting you. I mean, it definitely had it was perfect. The setting was perfect. I really thought it was interesting because, you're tackling grief in this movie, and how losing a loved one can drive us to extremes and make us feel, hopeless. And we get desperate for answers and anything like that to reconnect with our loved ones. So I was wondering, what would you say is probably the one thing you hope viewers take from the film? Go ahead and chime in. Like, what is the one thing?
What's that? Sorry. Yeah. For me, I kind of wanted to. My goal was, can we make bad guys that you empathize with?
Yeah.
Can I write characters that can I write a story where you can at least see how they get where they get, and also be like, man, I feel bad for them. They're terrible, but I also kind of wanted to write a bit more subconscious, maybe a bit more about privilege and classism and things like that, and just the entitlement of people just saying that, hey, we're entitled to this. We can take this. So yeah, I don't know, Justin, what do you think?
Yeah, it was for me. It was really the story of the couple and dealing with grief. Obviously everyone has been dealt with grief in their lives, and this is an interesting take on it. And I would do anything for you. You take that expression to the extreme. So really for me, it was about their relationship, and then if we can make it fun, a little bit funny, and really scary all at the same time, that's what we set out to do. So.
Yeah, there were some great one-liners in there, and they were like really like, spaced out and everything. But you're like, Ken mentioned one earlier, we can't exactly Google this, type of thing, when the couple realizes, that they may be in over their heads.
Or how about in the beginning where he's like, people are gonna think I'm a rapper or something like that. That was great.
Right? Yeah, that was so me. Where he's like, the hem is a little bit off, because I'm like, everything's got to be like equal balanced, So I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, the interaction. Exactly. I definitely empathized with the couple. And they're doing a horrible thing, and there's some pretty horrible moments here. But anybody that's ever lost somebody they really love understands how it can really affect you and change you. And I definitely did. I liked them, actually. And honestly, you would probably like, that may raise a few eyebrows, but I definitely felt that's what you guys were going for. And I did. They just played their parts so well. And you could tell they were struggling throughout the movie to deal with Becker and her situation, and what should we do? Can we do this? And et cetera. So I definitely, it was fantastic. So, I mean, I love the movie, and like I said, it's going to stick with me for a long time. And you guys just did such a bang up job. It was awesome. The story was great. So I'm going to pass it over to Chris and let him fire some questions at you.
All right.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
You can Google that. Don't ask me how I know. But of course, you can't Google it if you expect the police to subpoena your records and find that. I had a opportunity, I don't know if you want to call it a privilege, to meet a Satanist once. It was a fascinating experience. And when I was talking to him for about 5 hours, I wanted to know what made him tick. I had to arrest him later. It was very unfortunate, but he sincere guy, a sensitive guy, a guy who's been put upon, the victim of so many awful things, and no one understands him. And he started off with a book, and he put his math book and reading books together, put a candle on it, said some incantations, said a few spells, and they worked. And then he did another one and it worked, and he did another one and it worked. And I'm thinking, did Keith and Justin meet this guy? Were they with me? Have you guys met people like this? Because the Walshes, they reminded me of this kid. Their decline into this horrible thing that they're about to do, it was no accident. It wasn't in a vacuum. It was, you can almost sympathize it. And I remember the kid I met, I could sympathize with him. I saw his persecution. I saw his heartache. Now there would have been better ways to do it, sure. But have you guys met, I don't know, Satanists, but people that have been very sincere? You created these characters, but I'm guessing they didn't just come out of a vacuum.
No, certainly not. I don't know that I've had close interactions with anyone who self-proclaims himself as a Satanist, but I think any sort of, I don't know, person that society rejects would fall into that category, right?
Sure.
So yeah, and you know, as you say, they've had experiences that put them in that place. So certainly they're, you know, some of these people are making bad decisions, but I'm sure there's also people who consider themselves Satanists who, you know, go out and do charity on the weekends. They've got to be out there.
Maybe.
So yeah, and it's just, you know, the whole thing. I guess Ian's pretty much a bad guy, but I'm assuming something happened to him as well. So really, it's about, yeah, my take on it is you don't want to judge anyone too harshly, because until you walk a mile in their shoes, you never know what brought them to that point. So even if you are a Satanist or something else, and you could still be all right deep down.
Yeah. And I actually like this kid. I felt bad for him. So you're absolutely right. Who knows what he grew up to be? I don't know. Shannon Becker, Constantina, is sort of the forgotten character here. And part of the horror of this movie is she is sort of the forgotten character. She's a pregnant woman. She's part of the 99% victimized by the 1%. She's she made a mistake. She did something she shouldn't have done. We all have done it, but we were lucky. We didn't get victimized by it. She made decisions many of us make, but she didn't get away with them. We can understand her plight and the way she grew into that and started loving life and realized the miracle of life. And something awful happens to her. And for the first part of the movie, she is, I don't know, traumatized, scared, but she seems to get a hold of herself and she changes pace. And now she is fighting for her baby and herself. I think the way you made that transition with Shannon, I loved it. And it's almost the forgotten part of the movie because the Walshes did such a wonderful job. But certainly when you wrote her character in, you guys had her not as a damsel for 97 minutes, maybe a damsel for 55 minutes. But you brought her back. It won't give away the ending, but she's hardly a damsel in the last 29 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, I think it was really important. Well, funny enough, I would say in script stage, it shifted a lot. At the beginning, we'd kind of felt like it was going to be Shannon Becker's movie, but then we'd realized that we'd had something a bit more unique in playing it as the grandparents, and I just kept wanting to write more about the grandparents, about the Walshes. I mean, it's not that I would take anything away from the Shannon Becker character, but we've seen those stories before, so it's less interesting to me as a writer. I guess I wanted to explore something a little bit different, and so Justin and I went back and forth on that, and we both kind of landed there. And I think for the beginning of the movie, or at least most of the movie, Shannon really is the audience. She's with the audience the whole time, and we're taking everything in the way she is as well. So I think from my perspective, that was sort of where I wanted to lead it. And then Justin and Constantine, I'm sure, have their own thoughts on that too.
Yeah, Shannon, especially her story, because she obviously, some of her story is told in flashbacks as well, but her story with the Walshes, you don't need to know a lot about her to sympathize with her. Like, this is not fair what's happening to her. So to, give you tons of setup, and this is, who she is and why you should feel sorry for her. You can't, as Keith said, like, she's the audience right out of the gate. You get it. This is not fair. So you do sort of sympathize with her. And then she does have the arc and, a lot of the flashbacks, and then obviously towards the end of the film. But yeah, this is very much a story about the Walshes. And she takes a different role, I guess, in the first, second, and third act. But it was, hopefully not too forgotten, but she's, it's less her story than it is the Walshes.
Well, very, very well done. I was very impressed. If you heard my review of it just before y'all came on, I couldn't have been more impressed. And not only with the movie, the story, but of course the acting. You guys did a fantastic job. And I'm going to turn it over to, I think, Omar.
Thank you so much.
Yes. How you guys doing tonight?
Great. Yeah.
Awesome.
You guys liked it, so that's good. Yeah, I was worried that we were going to get on and be like, so guys, this did not work.
Loved
and point
it.
out 5 or 6 things that just didn't work, and I wouldn't have answers for. I would blame Justin.
That is the opposite here. I absolutely loved this movie. I got to see it via Fantasia, and there were several great movies through that festival, and I absolutely love this movie. And I mentioned it to the guys before. I was thinking about a top 5 list. I usually do a top 5 and so forth of the year, and I'm like, I've seen so many good movies that you guys are making it really tough. And this one for me is definitely going to be up there. I don't know how it's going to shake out, but I'm no BS here. I absolutely love this movie.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate that.
I'm completely fanning out at some of the question answers that you've already given already. So one of the things I just mentioned festivals, and I've asked this to probably several of our last guests. I'm going to ask it to you guys too. You guys have gotten your film into several big festivals. I know going to festivals is hard now. It's maybe not exactly the way you want it. But kind of talk about that and what that means to you, and kind of that experience of getting your films to these places.
Yeah, well, this is our first foray into the festival experience. I've never had I've, as I said, worked as a cinematographer and editor before, so I've been involved with festival films, but I've never directed one, never produced one. So this was this was our goal. We knew that's going to be part of the distribution, was to get this into some festivals. So we're thrilled with the festivals we're getting into. Like, we're really blown away by the ones who are showing our film. But then, the first few, I streamed it at home and, sat alone in a basement, and it ended, and I was like, yay, I'm alone in a basement. So it's certainly anticlimactic once it's done. The opening for Fantasia, our producers over at Vortex put on a socially distanced screening. We rented this big warehouse, and some of the cast and crew came out. So that was nice, at least, to see it with all the people who made it together. And that was the first viewing for a lot of them. So it was nice to show them that. And then, we were in the Nightstream in the US. And now we have Blood in the Snow Festival coming up here in Canada again, and then a couple over in the UK with Soho and Abertoir. And I think there's some more coming. I'm not sure which ones, but at this point, they're all kind of running together, because we just, we know they're there, we hear about it, and then it goes away. So very exciting and very disappointing all at the same time.
Yeah, it's great to have the best and worst moments combined in the same place. It's very unique. But I mean, again, these are small problems, right? I mean, we have a movie that we're happy with, and it's doing well and being well received. I'm a horror fan, and I'm glad horror fans like it. So that's really, at the end of the day, that's all I've cared about is, seeing the reviews and seeing that people are genuinely enjoying it. So that's great.
Yeah, we're just having a little pity party like this.
Yeah.
Going
I
better.
don't get to see people screaming in the theater.
Popcorn with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, kind of thinking about the way you answered that. It is a shame that it was not in the theater. I would have loved to sit in the theater and see people's reaction to this, because my reaction kind of is as the movie starts, you're kind of getting the feel of the grandparents there, and there's some moments to laugh at, and there's a little serious situation, but there's still laughable moments there. And I think one of the avenues of one of the reasons why I really love this movie is because then all of a sudden, bam, you introduce these supernaturals, and the movie gets really serious really quickly and really dark, and you just don't. The way the beginning is, you don't see that really coming. So, kind of talk about how you pieced that together, and you knew that you were gonna kind of make that change. You still had humor in it towards the end too, but still you're making that big change and that big move midway through the film.
Yeah, I'll set it up, but I think, Keith, you'd be best to answer this question. The original idea started with a reverse exorcism. How do we take something that is familiar and turn it on its head? So we did that, and then we went back and forth with a few other ideas, and we just kept saying, this is what you expect. How do you turn that on its head? So the goal of this movie was to just go the unexpected route, which Keith does so well.
Yeah, well, thank you. The thing I would say too is we really wanted to ground it in reality, right? So I think a lot of that comedy that's in the movie is really just coming from comedy. I wasn't trying to write specific one-liners outside of a few things, like the text stuff and like you say, you can't Google this or anything like that. We're trying to, add a little bit of levity. But I also
is he freezing for everybody?
Again, right? Like sorry about that. So yeah, I'll try that again. So it's I was just saying we weren't specifically trying to do comedy in those scenes, but the levity just made it nice to set people up to really scare them again. And as far as that goes, so it's reality, right? Grandparents don't really know technology as well, so she would have to write it all down. And at the beginning when she's talking to Shannon, she's talking about everything that they have to do. They're not crazy about it, so they don't want to have their feelings hurt. They don't, you know what I mean? Like it's all those kind of things. The library where they meet in, that was Justin had that locked in. He was like, it's going to be here, and it's going to be so small, and it's going to be ridiculous. And I was nervous for that scene, but it comes out great, because it's the reality, right? You're in a small town. And so, yeah, it is funny. It's funny the way that like Fargo has really funny scenes in it, but they're real, like the woman running around in Fargo with the bag on her head, like she's bumping into stuff and they're laughing at her. She's terrified and she's just falling. Yeah. So that would be the extra on that.
I think anything, put yourself in any horror movie and think about how you would actually be reacting and what would actually happen to you. It's usually funny. And when I imagine it anyways, as Keith said, if you got a bag on your head and you're running, you're going to run into something. So it was a goal to make it real. And I'm glad a lot of people seem to be finding that as funny as we did when we first started.
Yeah, it is. It is. I think that's one thing I want, one direction. I just love the way that happens there, because you kind of, at least for me, I'm watching, I start getting expectations of where this is going and so forth. You're concentrating on the exorcism and what's going to happen to this lady here in the bed. And then bam, all of a sudden the focus is a little bit off of her and onto these creatures. And then you guys had pressure on you, because you could have just created 3 creatures that, whatever, and people have been like, I've seen that before, blah, blah. But no, you each one of them you blow it away with. Each one of them brings you scares, brings you frights, brings you something unique. And I was just like, wow, I cannot believe they A, flipped it, and then B, just nailed it with each one of them. I mean, that is just, it's hard to even respond to that.
Wow. Thank you. I think the goal was to make them so different so that we could at least hit one. But if they're all working, then that means a lot to us. Thanks so much. Yeah, we try to make each one scary, and we try to make them dramatically different. As we were talking earlier about our trick or treat ghost versus our suffocating ghost, they could easily be in their own movies. But we tried our best to come up with the lore behind it that made them make sense to all be in the same space. And then once that setup is there, then we could really flex our creative muscle and make them scary in their own unique ways. So I'm glad they all worked for you. That's great news.
Yeah, they absolutely did. And you kind of answered this already, but I just kind of want to throw this out there also. I liked that you guys went with the grandparents. You kind of landed in that. You mentioned because of the casting, but I think this year has also shown us a couple of other movies where we've seen grandparents and maybe a little bit older characters. So I think that really worked because you could have went with younger people in the movie very easily, but instead you found two great actors to do the roles. Mm-hmm. But also that you stuck with it, that you went with the grandparent role, and it's a little bit different because you could have expected that from maybe a mom or a father, but grandparents, it just adds something to it. So I really appreciated that angle as well.
Sheila and Julian could easily have played parents. Maybe we just make the kid, 10 instead of 2. And it easily would have made sense, but I got to tip my hat to Keith on that one. He took it from, and again, this was sort of from one of our rules that we set at the beginning. What's expected? How do you flip that on its head? And that was one that Keith said, "How about it's the grandparents instead?" So.
Absolutely. You guys, if you're going to continue on and do more horror, kind of go with the theme of like you said, flipping it on its head, because it works throughout this entire movie. Great job. I'm a huge fan of the movie, as you can see. I'm so excited that we got to speak with you guys, and I thank you, and I'm going to throw it back to Ken.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
So this is the part of the show where you gave us nightmares with these ghosts and the scenes, and they're going to be engraved into our memories forever. Chris is probably never going to floss again. Horo's never going to. Oh wait, he lives in Florida. He doesn't shovel snow. Muse shovels snow probably, but we like to give you guys a little horror challenge, a little trivia challenge. This is what we call the Deathly 13 trivia questions. We don't know. Horo, Chris, and I do not know the answers or the questions, but Muse has all the questions because she's a woman and she likes to torture us and laugh at the end. So Muse, go ahead and take it away.
Are you going to tell them their lifelines or?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so.
Are you going to give them any?
We'll give them some lifelines here. Okay. So you get 3 lifelines. You can ask, actually, it's 5 lifelines, right? Because you can ask Chris, myself, or Horo at any time if we know one of the questions. You can ask multiple choice, and you can postpone a question till later if you guys have it on the tip of your tongue or whatnot. Question 13 is worth 2 points, so you can go 14 for 13 if you are very lucky. Get that Satanic Bible out and read those passages.
Let's do it.
All right. We're just going to jump right in and talking about something satanic. I'm going to ask you a question about the classic movie The Exorcist from 1973. And I'm going to ask you, in the opening sequence of The Exorcist, the archaeological site is located in what Middle Eastern country?
I want to say Cairo, but I could be wrong.
Ken is raising his hand.
Yeah.
Chris is raising his hand.
Yeah, we got a few.
I feel bad. I don't want to take this away from Ken now. Cool. Are you cool with that, Justin?
Yeah.
You got a good guess.
Look at Chris. Chris seems to be excited too.
They're going, no. They're flagging you.
God. Chris, it's my movie. Come on, let me take it. It's Iraq. It's Iraq. It's Iraq.
Yeah,
it's in Iraq. Okay.
It is Iraq. All right. So
Chris was going to say Florida. It's a good thing you didn't say.
Okay. All right.
Okay, bad start. Come on.
All right. Well, you guys are good. You guys
got the point.
Ken say.
Yeah, no, I knew it. I felt bad for those guys.
Right.
Exactly. You got to throw them a bone sometimes. All right.
That's right.
Second, question 2. In the movie Signs from 2002, What turns out to be what liquid turns out to be instrumental in defeating the alien invaders?
Water.
Swing
Water,
away.
yes. Plain
Yeah.
old H2O. Yeah.
High
Something
quality H2O.
Yes.
That's right.
Water boy reference. All right. All right. Question 3. I'm going to make this one a true or false. So
Okay.
true or false. Eli Roth, who directed the first 2 Hostel films, also appeared as an actor in Quentin Tarantino's films. True or false?
Oh,
True.
true.
Yes, that is correct. All right. He's got, I remember him in Inglourious Bastards and
Yeah, the bear.
yeah, pretty infamous for sure. All right.
That was not planned. I did not wear my Pulp Fiction shirt. I had no
Right,
idea that was going
right.
to happen.
Yeah, that was like totally like synchronistic. All right. All right. Question 3.
4.
Oh, I'm sorry. 4. I'm sorry. Okay. Question 4. What was not an ingredient? This is actually a multiple choice, the way it's written. So I'm just going to read it as that. What was not an ingredient used in The Thing from 1982 for creature effects? Was it microwaved bubblegum, creamed corn, toothpaste, or mayonnaise? Which of those items did they not use for creature effects?
Well, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I can run it back down if you guys want to hear them again.
No,
I can picture all the
unfortunately,
creatures. I'm just trying to think of what would be in there. Do you want to postpone that one and we can come back to it,
Let's
or do you
postpone
want to?
this one? Yeah.
All right. Sounds good.
All right.
Question 5.
Question 5.
I'm so nervous. This is. I shouldn't be this nervous.
How do you think we felt when we were watching the movie? Come on.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, this is
On the
crazy.
hot
I'm so sorry.
You guys are doing great. All right. In the movie Joyride from 2001, what was the name of the truck driver the students play a prank on that backfired on them? What was the name of that truck driver?
Oh, I'm so bad with names in general.
We still got the multiple choice if you want to use
Yeah.
that, or ask one of the guys.
Wasn't it like a silly name, Muse? It was something. God.
I can't help you.
Josh-
Yes, I choose the lifeline and ask Muse.
Oh, I don't think we can. Can we do
No,
that?
she knows the answer.
Right.
You could
I'm
do
like, I may have an
multiple
inside track.
choice. I don't think Chris knows it, and I.
What do you
don't
think, Justin? You want to go with a multiple choice on this?
Yeah, these guys don't look confident, so I think we got to go.
No.
Because
Okay. All right. Multiple choice. Was it Rusty Nail, Randy Nail, or Ralphie Nail? I was waiting for you guys to
Oh, I
on
got it.
this
Gotta
one.
go Rusty Nail, right?
Rusty
Right.
Nail. Yeah, it
Rusty
was.
Nail.
all right.
I was like, I can't wait because I just want to say Ralphie Nail. Okay.
Oh, yeah. What a nerd.
I know.
I
Little
really
thing.
wish it was Ralphie Nail. That would have been
Ralphie
amazing.
Nail. Yeah.
That's the name of your next movie.
Yeah, that's
when,
right.
You know, your secret name when filming, you put Ralphie Nail on there. Send me a picture. I would love that.
Go back to New Line Cinema and see if they'll sell me old Ralphie Nail's character.
Oh my gosh. All right. I take my money because I'm going to see it for sure. All right. I'm totally
I'm
laughing
dying
my
here.
butt off of
I'm
that. I don't know
dying.
what question we're on. I have them numbered.
6,
I don't know.
6. We're on 6.
Question 6. Okay. All right. Question 6. In the movie Paranormal Activity 2 from 2010, what is the gender of the firstborn child required as payment for an ancestral demonic deal? Did they want a boy or a girl?
I have a guess. Keith, you're my ringer here. What do you think?
Ordinarily, I would be, but this one is not. That movie didn't stick with me as much. I liked it, but it just didn't stick.
What was the question again, Muse? Say it again real quick.
All right. In Paranormal Activity 2, what is the gender of the firstborn child required as payment for an ancestral demonic deal? I know Omar knows this. He's a Paranormal Activity fan like I am. I would say if I had to
Go with your gut, Justin.
I think it's
Go
female.
for it.
Is it female?
no.
No, it's male. Why did you say that? I don't know why I had that. I was gonna.
All right, you guys are still in
no
good
idea.
shape. You're
We
still
should have
in
gone
good
multiple choice on that one.
True or false? All
Yeah, right. True or
7.
false?
You're
All
halfway there. You only missed one, and you
We need
have
that
one
double
that you
question.
passed.
We need the
Perfect.
All right, this is actually written as a multiple choice. So ask and ye shall receive. which is not a sign of the Bye Bye Man coming in the film The Bye Bye Man from 2017? Was it coins appearing or the sounds of a tea kettle? Which was not a sign?
What's one or the
I
other?
didn't. I missed
Right.
this one.
I
I
don't think
did
I
not
saw
see
that
this
movie.
one. No. Let's go with the tea kettle.
It is tea kettle. It is
Nice.
it's definitely coins appearing. All right.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Nice job, Keith.
Thank you.
Okay. Where in the movie The Collector from 2009, where does the collector keep his kidnapped victims? Or what does he keep them in, rather?
I think they're in the cages in the basement, right?
You're
Is that what it
kind-
is?
You're close. It's a square. It's a
Yeah,
square.
it's like a square cage, like a jail almost. I'm trying to. I can picture it, but I can't. I don't know if I knew exactly what it was.
Is it
I haven't
cold?
seen that one in a while.
Justin, do you have any guesses?
I don't think I saw that movie.
I'm not seeing a lot of confident collector and collection. They're both great. They're just. I just.
With us at this point, Keith. That's why they're shaking their heads.
Muse must be. She must have really been scared of this movie because she's got some good questions.
These are-
Like, I'm coming this
This is
Yeah.
this is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like I've literally watched so many horror movies my whole life, and I'm failing so miserably here.
It wasn't okay. Do we have any lifelines left?
You got Horo, you got Chris, but Chris doesn't know.
Yeah,
it.
let's.
No, I can
Or-
tell.
Let's ask.
Squirrel's like waving away, like, don't come over here.
Horo, do you want to take a guess?
I don't
Yeah,
know. I
turns
mean,
his
you
camera
said
off.
he said a cage. I mean, isn't it? I mean, is it more specific? Is there like a
Is it a
title
specific
for
kind of cage?
like?
It's not. It's a container, but it's
Oh.
not actually a cage.
Oh,
Okay,
No,
I'm gonna
I
give
mean,
it to him.
okay,
I'm gonna
well,
give it.
we can give it to
I'm
him.
gonna give
well,
it.
you're talking
Well,
about
I'm
when
gonna-
he first.
It would be
you're
like
talking
a
about when he-
cage, just no bars.
I'm gonna pull rank, and
Okay.
Keith got it.
All right.
Yay!
Yeah, it was a red trunk. They kept him in these red trunks. So I mean, cage. Yeah, I guess that all depends on your perception of a cage. So I still think that qualifies for sure.
Perfect. I'll take it.
Right? I like it. I like their.
That's a such a
Question
failure.
9.
Question 9. All right. Rock star Sting portrayed what famous scientist in the movie The Bride from 1985?
Chris knows.
Okay,
Huh?
let's do it.
Frankenstein, Dr. Frankenstein.
Is he Dr.
That is
Frankenstein?
correct. Yeah,
Perfect.
Dr. Frankenstein. All right. Okay. Question 10. In the movie Get Out from 2017, what is the name of the place where the consciousness of protagonist Chris Washington is trapped during hypnosis? What is the name of that place where he loses? There's a name for it.
Oh,
Jordan Peele's The Twilight Zone.
Right. Yeah. Well, it would be kind of, yeah, it definitely plays like a Twilight Zone episode for
What
sure.
is that called though? What do they call it?
Well, listen, Horo technically didn't. You didn't use Horo for your lifeline because I already gave that to you. So Horo is
Okay.
If you want to use that, you're in question 10. You got. That means you're gonna be on your
Lord.
own for 3 more.
yeah. Well,
Oh Lord, let me think about that one.
I'm going to give you a hint. It's some kind of place. Place is in the title.
Florida.
Florida, Florida. No,
Or where nobody
Where-
wants to be.
Let's put it where Florida should go. No, but okay,
Is it the,
Oh,
yeah, it's
okay.
the dark place? The
okay. I think I know now.
Something place.
yeah.
You want me to give it a go?
Go for
Go
it.
for it. Yeah, give it to us. What do you got?
Sunken. We're sinking here. Sunken, right?
Sunken, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I was
All
way
right.
off.
Yes. Well, Florida will sink one day.
That is correct.
Florida
All
was a good
right.
Question
All right.
11.
Question 11. As of 2018, The Thing from 1982 was one of how many film collaborations between Kurt Russell and John Carpenter?
That's a great
Ooh.
question. That's a great question. That's
Okay.
Name them off, and I'll count them out.
Okay.
And like,
So, Escape from LA.
right.
The Thing. John Carpenter. What else did he do? That Kurt Russell's in.
Pork
Just trying
Chop
to go through them all
Express.
now. Yeah. Oh wait. Yeah. No. Oh geez. Big Trouble Little China, of course.
Yep.
What else have they done together?
There was another Escape.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Escape from New York.
Oh, you already said that.
Oh, Escape from LA.
Yeah.
4.
There's one more, and I'm kind of wondering if you guys are going to get this because I did not know this. I was just like,
I think it's. I was thinking it was just a 4.
there's one more.
What
And it's
Kurt
not
Russell movie are we missing?
It's not horror though. I think that's why
Okay.
I didn't get it.
John Carpenter's Miracle.
Well,
Backdraft.
Yeah, that's right.
I would watch that. John Carpenter.
Captain Ron.
To watch that.
The
Great.
unrated version of Captain Ron.
Yeah.
How he lost his eye. God, I'm dying. What is it? I'm going to give it to
great.
him because that's 4, and that's only.
I say they did good enough because
Yeah, that's good.
I think the last one most of us probably didn't see. I probably because it's John Carpenter. I'll see it. It's actually Elvis, where Kurt Russell and I do remember them saying
I did see
he did
that.
play Elvis.
I didn't. I did.
I did not see that.
We'll keep it. We'll keep it within.
What
the
kind of
genre.
horror movie is
Perfect.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it show? Did he die in the toilet? Did we see that?
What?
No,
Banana
I
sandwiches? What? All right, I'm gonna give it to him. That's 11. That's a question. That's a yes. You guys only missed one so far. Remember, we still have number
Okay.
4. You're gonna go back to, and we're
Gotcha.
on 12. We're almost done.
All right. What does in the movie When a Stranger Calls from 1979? What does the killer keep asking when he phones the babysitter? What?
Have you checked?
Oh, go ahead. Go right ahead.
Have you checked the children?
Yes. So we check the children. Yes, absolutely.
Scared the shit out of me as a kid.
Everybody.
So we talked a little bit about the older people being scary in this one, but we definitely seen a lot of scary children in movies. So that brings me to the next question.
Wait. Don't go yet. Don't go
okay.
yet. Go back to question 4.
Oh yeah, we got to go back.
Okay.
From thing.
Okay. So what was not an ingredient used in The Thing for creature effects? Microwaved bubble gum, creamed corn, toothpaste, or mayonnaise?
So Keith, let's step aside and discuss this one. Everyone,
Sure thing.
I feel like cream corn is just so common for like vomit in other movies that I think that would have been too obvious. The microwave bubble gum is too weird to have not used.
That's true. Yeah, the mayonnaise. I'm trying to think. I'm
Mayonnaise
just trying to
is
think of all the kills, and yeah,
Mayonnaise
that's pretty easy, right?
Probably interchangeable. You could, if you had like a nice white toothpaste, you could use them both for the same thing.
That's true. I do. I brush my teeth with mayonnaise, so that works.
Something new. Flossing and teeth.
That's right. All right, buddy. Give it to them.
Cream corn?
Let's do it.
Go cream corn.
It was toothpaste.
I was gonna say microwaves weren't popular yet, right? It was what 81.
Microwave
I thought-
bubble gum. Yeah.
I thought it might be hard to
Yeah.
run a microwave on set back then.
Yeah, the microwave's probably the size
In
of
the
a
Arctic.
Buick back then.
No, I said toothpaste. Toothpaste.
It was
what they-
toothpaste?
yeah, it was toothpaste. They
toothpaste.
used.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right, so-
Well, they should've
I would
used some
not have guessed
toothpaste.
that either. I would have probably said either microwave bubblegum or maybe mayonnaise.
I was going with the microwave
Yeah.
bubble gum. That was a good question. All right,
That was a
question
great
13 worth 2 points. You've only missed 2 questions, so you can go 12 for 13 if you get
All
it.
right.
All right. So this movie deals with crazy evil children. It's The Good Son from 1993. It's kind of a thriller horror, I guess, maybe more. Depends on what you consider a thriller horror. And I'm going to ask you, who played the psychopathic character of Henry in The Good Son? And we remember seeing him at a very heartwarming holiday comedy. And this was a different turn for him.
Macaulay Culkin.
Yes, Macaulay Culkin. What a chilling turn. I was like, what in the okay.
Yeah.
He's scaring me now. But
Yeah.
yeah,
It's a good
Macaulay
movie.
Culkin. Yeah, great movie too. Elijah Wood was great. in that as
Yeah, I was
well.
just gonna say it's Elijah Wood, right? And even
Yeah.
and then you get Rory Culkin as the little brother in that one too.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'd forgot
Yeah.
about that. He was so little that time. Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely a great movie. You guys did great.
Yeah, 12 for 13. That's a killer score, man. And we'll just blame who can we blame for
Blame me.
Yeah, blame you.
Oh no, that was on us. I was so disappointed in myself. I'm
You guys
not
did
call
great.
myself a horror fan. That was tough.
No, it was good. You guys did a really good job. Thank you so much for doing that. A lot of fun. The listeners love listening to that and listening to you guys struggle on it. But we did too, though, so we're not perfect. But listen, we're gonna bring the show on home. I want to talk about what you guys are working on, what's in the pipeline, and where we can find you on social media. Keith, let's start with you.
Justin and I both have another movie coming out. Well, that we're going to start filming. I think we're supposed to do the end of this year. We'll see with COVID. If not early next year, it's a revenge movie starring Diego Tenorio, and I'm not allowed to name the other people in it yet. But that's with Lionsgate. So that's called Morning War. So that's going to start filming next year, I think, in reality. That Justin and I are both producing as well. We've got a lot of, I don't know, what do you call that? Irons in the coal. Is that the right way to say this?
Irons in the fire.
Irons in the fire. Thank you for, I use my lifeline. Justin and I have, we've been getting a lot of great press. So yeah, we have a lot more concepts that we've been talking with different people, different studios. So on the horror front, that's sort of where I'll leave it. Justin, what about you?
Yeah, this movie, we had it finished really like the first day of Fantasia. So we delivered it on, end of August there. So it hasn't existed for a long time. And we're sort of, up until then, we were just the writer director of Christmas movies. So we're just starting to gain some ground now and send out emails and contacts. So we'll see where it goes. We got lots of ideas. So if anyone wants us to make a movie, give us a ring.
It's just that easy.
I'm on Twitter and Instagram, just under my name, Justin G. Dyke. Keith?
Yeah, really, I'm not good at social media. I'm on Facebook, just as Keith Cooper, and on Instagram as Keith is a jerk. Those are the two. I got to get on the other ones. I'm terrible at this.
No, you don't. It's you know what? Your movie was scary, but not as scary as Twitter. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, Keith, Justin, you guys did a great job with the movie. You guys seem like you got good chemistry between the both of you. I can't wait to see what's in the future as far as what's in the horror genre. We love a good revenge movie, so hopefully we'll be checking out as well. Listeners, check out anything for Jackson. It is going to be one of your favorite scary movies of 2020. It was well done, brutal, scary, and just a great story altogether. On behalf of Where the Scary Things Are, Keith and Justin, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks so much.
Thanks so much for having us.
Hey, guys.
Really appreciate it.